That's a grito.
Woo!
Is that a Grito?
Good morning. Ahua. It's too early. It's too early this morning.
It's never too early for,
we have too many roosters. Roosters. Sandy's cracking up there. Hi, everybody.
Hi, guys.
Good morning, everyone. It is Jesse Safe September. So, wow. Does anyone know what that is?
Yeah.
It's the 16th of September, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's right. That's right. And so we're going to do a lot of history education today. And so let's see, I got a little bit confused because I have a couple of windows open here. Welcome everyone to Coffee and Pondusi. I'm Christian Cano. I want to thank everyone for joining us on Facebook Live on this beautiful day in Charlotte. It's about to rain, but it's been gorgeous. It's like a sneak peek of fall. I think we're going to have some of the hurricane that's going to be bringing us rain. I don't know. Welcome if you're joining us on Facebook Live, but also those who join us later on YouTube and also on Facebook as well. So we're going to begin the show immediately talking about our wonderful topic. This is our 100th show. Wow.
Congrats.
Is that amazing?
Yeah.
We have done this 100 times. We'll talk very briefly about that after this introduction, but let's go to the Brady Bunch screen. On the Brady Bunch screen, I see Jenny, Stephen, Mama Ruth, and then Cyndi joining us from Texas. So let's go around the screen and you introduce yourself and your imaginary button.
Well, good morning, everybody. Hi, I'm Jenny-Jaymes Gunn, and I represent the National Organization of Women Charlotte and Charlotte Pride. In fact, we spent this week talking about fall programming for Charlotte Pride. And also too, if I had imaginary buttons on this dress, I would have Mom's Demand Action and for gun sense laws, and of course, Medicare for all. I'm very passionate about that. And I even have a little mask, but I don't have it with me. I keep it in my car so I can actually wear it. I will hand it over to Stephen, I think.
I'm Stephen DiFiore. I'm actually the Libertarian Gubernatorial candidate for North Carolina. Got my little North Carolina mask here. And yeah, we're running a campaign this year for both ballot access, but also to highlight certain areas of policy in North Carolina that have been largely ignored by both the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. And hopefully we can gain some traction on that. And if you're interested in my website, stephenfornorthcarolina.com. That's Stephen with a V.
Good morning, everyone. Here's Mama Ruth. Good morning. I'm glad to be here again on our 100th show. I'm so glad. I am a community advocate for the people out there. And I am very proud for Jenny, what she does with NOW and the Women's Association and everything that she's involved with. I do support all that. My imaginary button this morning, I have two. And this one breaks my heart because a 5-year-old just passed away. She lost her life a week ago for a gunshot. So, like always, gun sense reform. We need to do something about homeowners owning a gun. I'm not blocking, Amendment 2, but I would like to see something better, some better procedures how to handle gun owners that are willing to work with our society and our community to protect our families. And my second button, it's Medicare for all. We definitely need Medicare. We don't want up in the house, whoever has the voice on that table to be blocking and preventing us for what we deserve. We pay our taxes. We deserve to have Medicare at a full range for everyone.
Am I next? Hi, everybody. I'm Cyndi. I'm from Texas. I have a few buttons. I'm pretty upset with, I just read an article yesterday on the whistleblower, but right now my main concern is women's rights. I think we need to really pull our weight on that. I'm terrified for my granddaughters and my goddaughters in the future. It's just really scary to me. My second button would be as well believing in Medicare for all. And my third button, which is loud and clear, would read very largely FU 45. I'm good.
Christian, I believe you're muted.
Thank you. I thought it was my mask covering my, thank you. Listen, we're going to talk very briefly about what Cyndi mentioned, the article that came out, the whistleblowing article that came out yesterday, a couple of days ago, but also this morning on NPR about the hysterectomies that may have been performed at the ICE facility in Georgia, and who knows, maybe even others, but specifically Georgia. But before we do that, let us, I'm Christian Cano, one of your co-hosts of Coffee and Panduce, along with Mama Ruth and Jenny-Jaymes Gunn and Jeff Scott. Jeff is on hiatus until after the election, we believe. We'll see, maybe he'll make a surprise appearance before his election. Medicare for All, women's rights, and all kinds of wonderful stuff. Baby Germ Pinata is still in with us today. His cousin was going to be sacrificed today. We'll tell you about that story at the very end of this show. He has a Cynthia Wallace for Congress, a Moms Demand Action button, and a card, and of course, a copy of the Constitution, which everyone should read. Let's go ahead and salute to Coffee and Panduce as neighbors. Salute.
Hello.
Cha-chan.
Yes, and we also want to thank our Panduce sponsor, Manolo's Bakery. Manolo's Bakery is on Central Avenue here in Charlotte. It is a wonderful immigrant-owned bakery. Everything is made from the loving hands of immigrant hands. So please patronize.
And it's delicious.
Yes, all of it is. And so listen, today is our 100th show, and we are going to be celebrating not only 16 de September, but also we'll be doing the Grito. It's called our Grito show. And I'm just completely mispronouncing it every single time. I say Grito and then Grito, and I listen to what Stephen calls it Grito. So,
well, I'm a gringo, so what do you expect?
Well, Grito should have said Grito.
yes, Grito.
Well, Grito's a character from Star Wars, though. I know that much. He's the green guy that Han Solo shot in the cantina.
Yes. Oh, I didn't know
And
that.
yes, Han shot first.
Oh.
I don't care what the remake says.
Okay.
Okay. Interesting. So listen, we're gonna give you a brief definition of what the Grito is. So the Grito is, it's a yell, a rallying cry. It is a tradition that is done in our neighbor country, Mexico. How's that? I kind of said that right.
Perfect.
Instead of Mexico. So it is a traditional rally. I believe they did it last night. And traditionally the president comes out and he does the yell, and everyone kind of does this yell. And it's in celebration of Mexican Independence Day, which is today. Hispanic Heritage Month here in the United States started yesterday. There are several Independence Days from countries in the Hispanic culture that are celebrated over the next 3 days. And if any of you had the opportunity to watch last night, future president, I hope, Joe Biden did a Hispanic celebration kickoff in Central Florida with some individuals talking about the impact and the importance of our Hispanic culture and Hispanic heritage. Also the concern he has about frontline workers, which 25% of frontline, I think it's up to 30% of frontline workers are of Hispanic origin. And they represent 25% of coronavirus deaths currently in the United States. And there was a lot of things that he talked about, but I thought was really important was Eva Longoria, who is of Mexican American heritage, a activist and just a wonderful person. And she talked about the importance of politicians around Hispanic Heritage Month, not just showing up just to say Hispanic heritage and then just doing the traditional hola, ¿cómo estás? And everyone clapping. But understanding that our Hispanic culture is so diverse, it is so like America. And when our issue is not just immigration. So when you come and talk to us, don't just talk to us about immigration. We're concerned about deficits, debt, military, small businesses, education, all kinds of things, the same things that other Americans are. We just look better doing it. So with that said, we are going to talk about the El Grito. And I kind of explained to you what the tradition of El Grito. And this is being celebrated all for everyone who is of Mexican heritage or Mexican culture. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Is that the right way to say it?
You're good. You're good.
Okay. Yeah. So, my family, I have my grandfather, it literally came here on a donkey to Odessa, Texas. That's how, and he became a nationalized citizen during the Reagan administration, which is one of the reasons many Hispanics are Republican, is because they were appreciative of that during that time period. My mom's parents have been here for 5-6 generations, even longer than that. And they are also from Mexico, from I believe around Mexico City. My other grandfather, once again, is from Chihuahua, Mexico. So I am a product of a Mexican-American heritage. I consider myself a Tejano, if anybody knows what that term is. And so we're going to play a video, and let's hope this works out right. It's called Grito 101. It's going to explain to you what a grito is. So let's see if we can get this done. And y'all who are watching me, help me if this doesn't come out right.
Workshop 101. All right, so the first one that we are going to learn together here is called, by us, we call it the classic, because it sounds like a cry and a laugh, and you will soon see why. And we've all cried and we've all laughed, right? Can't deny that. All right, I'm gonna go for it, okay? Me. Okay, ready?
Awesome.
This one we call the burner, because it reminds me really of when I have burned myself accidentally, on a pot or pan, some hot water perhaps, and the sound that instinctively comes out for me is something like this. So I add 3 of those to the classic, all right? So I'm going to show you both of them, the classic and the burner combined, and then it'll be your turn, all right? Okay? Okay.
Yeah, this is a grito from the scared one. Are you ready? This is a stress relief grito, okay?
El asustado.
So it goes like this.
It's our favorite. You have graduated the mariachi.
So that was, I thought that was really great because it was a grito explained by Latinas, which people commonly believe that the grito is a man yell, kind of like the yeehaw for the cowboys, or what's up, for Americans, or whatever you yell, which is like a man bonding yell. The grito I may have began as a more male dominated thing, but as anyone knows, in the Latinx culture, Latinos run our families, they run our businesses, they run our culture. So I thought it was just great to have it explained by Latinas because they really run our families. So with that said, does anyone have any comments on if you want to tell us what you think the grito was, or if you know what it is? Who would like to start?
Well, I'll start. So I do know what a grito is. Grito is, but it's because my partner is Mexican, and she's a Mexican citizen. So today is like her July 4th, which, you know, that's cool. And you are right. She runs the household. She's my boss. She tells me what to do, and I say see. And if I really want to get under her skin, I'll jokingly call her a malinchista.
See, I don't know what that means. What is that? Is that nice, polite?
Cyndi knows. Look at her laugh.
Well,
You're
But-
alive today?
Well, you know, so I have a lot of charm, and it comes from my my Italian heritage. Italians are charming
Uh-huh.
race of people, I guess. No, it's just she takes pity on me. So she's like, okay, I'll let this slide. This is one time. But but my couch is also very comfortable, so it helps.
Well, there's probably a good chance she's slowly poisoning you anyway, so it's no big deal. Don't worry about it.
Well, you know, I have built up a resistance to iocane powder over a number of years.
That's a good reference. That's a good Princess Bride reference.
so
It's
those who,
inconceivable.
so raise your hand if you grew up in Texas. All right. Well, hey, sorry, Stephen. If Dr. B was with us, he'd be raising his hand. And Barbara actually lived in Texas for a while.
Sorry, Stephen.
Yeah, exactly. So our neighbor Barb would not be raising her hand, but she lived in Texas for a while. So has anyone attended a Grito festival or a wedding or a quinceañera or something where people did gritos?
Oh, yeah. But
Okay.
you know, when I was growing up, we always thought it was like hurt when you're broken up with, you know, we'd be like, oh, there's Steve over there. His wife just left him and he's crying. He's playing Volver, Volver over and over, you know, and he's crying. But as we got older, we realized what it was.
I love that hat. That is great.
Listen, he went and did his English test and came running back. He said, now I can be in your show.
Oh,
And he brought his little guitar. Look.
Oh, look.
oh, how wonderful. That is great. Well,
I usually celebrate with a Mexican party at home. We do. Everybody has to come dressed up with Mexican stuff. We decorate and stuff. And this year, hopefully, I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to do it because of the COVID, but we just love it because we start screaming out of nowhere. We don't have to lose or be whole broken. We just have to scream, drinking tequilas and having fun.
That tequila makes you like yell it out for real. It's like down from the
A
bottom of your
tequila
mouth.
and the right song at the right moment.
That's right.
girl, you'll be flying.
so Jenny, you lived in San Antonio for a while. Actually, you grew up where, in the Houston, San Antonio area, or where did you grow up?
I grew up in Northwest San Antonio, out by UTSA, but you know, we always went to like the Battle of the Flower parades and all the fiesta stuff in the
All the
spring,
fiesta.
predominantly. Like that was the big stuff, you know, Niosa, a whole bunch of things. But you know, I've heard. I didn't really always understand what the Grito was, especially when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But you always heard it. I mean, like you'd hear the mariachis and you would hear all that, and it was just it was always amazing. I mean, I guess I was so used to it because when my dad retired there from the military, I was 3 months old, so I was immersed in it. It was not something that was foreign to me. You know, to me, I thought it was weird when we moved away from San Antonio and moved to North Texas to Dallas. And I wasn't submerged into the San Antonio, Mexican culture. And it was actually weird to be around mostly white people. You know, that was strange to me. And just because that's all I knew for a long time. You know, but yeah.
Well, I have a kind of an admission to admit, and I'm not even sure I've ever really told this story. So if I start bawling, we'll have to mute me. But you know, I grew up in Texas like Cyndi and Ruth, and as a young Latino Tejano, I was actually kind of embarrassed when I went to weddings and quinceañeras or whatever the situation was, when my tios or other people or my dad and my brother would get into like a grito, or his brother my dad and his brother would get into a Grito competition where they would be yelling one here and they'd be trying to outdo each other because the goal was who could do the longest, who could hang on to that note the longest. And we were, as a young person, I remember we were kind of embarrassed because I guess some way society taught us that that was like the sign of poor people or the yell of farmers or whatever. And because we were so ingrained to assimilate, so you had to live within two cultures, celebrating your heritage, but also trying not to be stereotyped by that. And that was a difficult thing growing up. And I don't remember ever even wanting, I remember my tias or someone say, try it, mijo. And I'd be so embarrassed. And I'd be, no, and this. It wasn't until after I got older and fortunately, right before my grandfather passed away, I think we were at a wedding and my brother, and we all did it. And my grandfather heard us do the grito. And so it wasn't until I was older that I appreciated the ability to do it. And I'm not really sure where that story was going, but I just think it's wonderful today that we are promoting people appreciating their culture and their heritage, whatever that culture and heritage is. It doesn't make us less American. Actually, it makes us more American.
More American.
Yes, and so in the same wonderfulness that I feel growing up in Texas when I saw the Czechoslovakians doing their polka dances, or the Germans doing Sausage Fest or German Fest in Texas, we celebrated all of the cultures because we're all so intertwined. And with that, I want to let you know that this is not a traditional sombrero, but this is an example of a sombrero from San Antonio, Texas. This is a sombrero. So this sombrero that was worn by rancheros in Texas and around that area before the Texas independence and before the Alamo, cowboys that came down from Tennessee, from Nashville, Scottish Americans and German Americans and Czechoslovakian Americans, they all came down to start ranching. And this hat, which provided cover from the sun, which you would think would be kind of a hat that Barbara uses now, you kind of see how wide the brim is, or maybe even Congresswoman Alma Adams going to church wears a brim that's this wide. Well, this hat got turned into this hat. And this is a cowboy hat.
There you go.
Yeah, so that's how this hat formed by blowing the rim from this hat. The same companies, Stetson, a lot of other companies, actually started making those sombreros, and then eventually the rims. Now you can get all kinds of different hats. You can get like someone like this, which is a little bit more fashionable. The ones they wear in Key West. And then of course, other cultures have their hats. The fedora, I believe, is more a different type of style, but Stetson makes a fedora. So I just think it's important that we acknowledge the influence of all of our cultures to where we are today. So with that said, we are going to.
I do want to do one correction though, Christian. Yes. It might be quite embarrassing. In New Braunfels and most of Central Texas, they call it a Wurst Fest. WURST. It's not called Sausage Fest. That's okay.
I mean, I'll say this. I prefer Italian sausages because everyone knows that German sausages are the worst.
Yeah, see that.
Jenny,
I'll be here all day, folks. Be here all day.
I don't even know how I'm going to take that. I'm just going to.
I know in San Antonio we had the Fiesta Week where we show all our pride. So that's my favorite.
Yeah. And that is a multicultural event too. You know, like when you go to Night in Old San Antonio, which is a 5-night celebration, you had French culture, German Czech culture, the Tejano culture. You had German polka bands up there with Tejano bands making music. It was beautiful.
No, that's the best. That's the best richness that we have in Texas. That we have a mixture in the music of polka with Irish, with a Mexican. You know, everything mixed together and makes such a great harmony.
Oh yeah, there's so many so many cultures that would just blended right there in Central and South Texas. It was just so beautiful, and that's basically what Fiesta was all about, which was 10 days, about 180 different festivals, events, art. You got to see the richness of the artists and artisans there. It was just always an amazing. I always say,
You know what?
our whole country was like San Antonio,
We
how
still
much
have
better
a
we would be.
beautiful guest that watches us almost every week, and we want to shout out to him, Mr. Philip Cano. Thank you for connecting. Thank you for reaching out. Thank you for commenting and being there, supportive. Even though you're down there, we love you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. That's actually my brother. So he probably could understand that there was a time where we were just kind of. Now it's wonderful because my other brother Patrick, I guess technically he'd be my middle brother. He does the grito with one of my other cousins, and they all try to. So the tradition has continued with trying to outlast that note. And so that is just very interesting. We're going to play one more sample of what a grito is, and then we're going to try to do the traditional yell that was done last night by the President of Mexico. And so if you will bear with me once again, we're going to try to, let's see if I can, let's see, talks amongst yourself. I have to get this back up here.
Lynn Palma complimented, said hi Ruth, and congratulations on the 100th show as well.
Yes, I think that's awesome. I feel so special to be a part of this.
Well, it's great to have you. You know, it's amazing how many people we've had on this show over the last, what, 2 years almost, 2.5 years.
Wow.
So listen, so this is how easy it is to learn the grito. This is from a Texas parrot. So that was a Texas parrot that was taught the grito. So if a Texas parrot can do it, then you. Now, this is what we're going to do here in a second. This is a traditional grito competition. So ladies and gentlemen, see if you can.
Hi, my name is Lauren.
Hi, Andrew Santiago. Hello, I'm Michael.
My name is Mayra Martinez. I play the mariachi called Mariachi Arcoiris de Los Angeles, and I've been playing professionally mariachi for about 20 years now. And I learned about the grito. I learned it myself. It's, for me, a grito is an emotion. When I play, it's something that comes from my heart. And today, I'm going to teach these beautiful people how to do a Mexican grito.
It's almost like when people hear a dope song, it's like, hey, it's like that.
You can be in Japan or whatever country and still do it. It's an emotion, you know.
The Japanese grito, that sounds crazy.
I don't know.
Step one, stand up.
Stand up. Breathe. It comes from your stomach, from the diaphragm. Yeah, it comes out and just do it. If you have to move your hands, do it. But it has to come from here too. From here. From here.
Okay, so since it's a competition, I've chosen a spot in the studio to rehearse. I'm just gonna give it a shot here, warm up the vocals. It's coming across like Joe Grill, but I think that'll be fun.
I'm honestly really nervous. There's like a lot of passion and heart that goes into this, and she was like, it's not something you can just do on the spot, like you gotta feel it. But like, I gotta do this on the spot.
Maya said it's about passion and in the moment. Practice stuff like that. I'm not even pretend like I know how to pronounce everything and do it like I'm a professional. Like I said in this video, I don't know Spanish or nothing.
So that was a person teaching people how to do a grito. You guys think you can do that?
I don't think I could top that Andrew guy. No, not at all.
So
I can probably just do the mariachi part.
well, so I have been listening to ranchera and mariachi music probably for what, 6 months now since we've been in quarantine and are staying at home. So I've been trying to listen to it in all the rooms. And actually, I think Andrew listens to it now because we're just so used to having it on the background when I'm cooking or whatever the case may be. And so I've been practicing the grito during, I don't know if you guys know who, everybody knows who Linda Ronstadt is, right?
Yes.
She is,
Who?
Linda
she's an
Ronstadt.
Linda Ronstadt.
Never heard of her.
Oh, you have to. Oh, really? So
No, I'm
she's
playing.
an
It's a good
incredible,
mariachi lady.
yes. Well, she's an incredible pop singer from the 70s and 80s who is of Mexican American heritage or culture. And she did a ranchero or mariachi album that broke all kinds of records. It was just incredible.
She's
Yes,
Mexican.
yes.
I have
and
it on vinyl.
Yes, and my understanding is she doesn't actually speak Spanish
Right.
well,
Yeah.
but you could never tell when you hear her singing.
Mm.
And her Gritos and everything was just, it's just the most
On
beautiful.
point. Woo! That girl.
It is just amazing. I'd love for her to come out with, I know I'm not sure the history. Stephen and Jeff Scott probably know more about Linda Ronstadt, but I just know her from that album. And then of course, before she did some albums as well. I think one of her albums, it's famous because she's on roller skates. Is that her?
She's saying that you're no good, baby, you're no good. Surely
Yes,
y'all heard that song.
Right, yeah, that's right. So anyway, I just wanted to throw it in. That's what I've been practicing. So if my grito sounds more like a female grito, I apologize because that's the only examples that I could. Well, I don't know.
Hey, it's okay.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So
We'll just tease you about it off the air.
That's
Oh,
right.
no, we will tease you on the air. Just so we're clear, I'm equal opportunity.
We're going to do the yell here before our little contest of what they did. It's a tradition that's done every year. The president of Mexico, that's probably the only reason they run for office, so they can actually do this official duty, because the president of Mexico doesn't always do a great job there. So that's the only thing I can think of. They must be running going, oh, I just want to do the grito. I don't really care about the country, but I do want to do the grito. So this is the official ceremony. If you're on Zoom, our panelists, I did publish the actual words. I don't know if you can understand those. It sounds like they're yelling to generals. Is that right?
Heroes of the Revolution.
Is that what they're saying? Okay, so you have the words there, and this is actually if you'll bear with me, this is actually the kind of like the official ceremony, and we're going to let everyone kind of know the pageant. This is like the official traditional thing that they do, and we all do different versions of it. So let's go here. Here we go. So what is your first thing that comes to your mind when you see that? I just want to hear what you have to say.
I think Vicente Fox did it much better.
Okay, all
I
right.
agree on that.
Jenny?
I don't know. I thought he did pretty well. I mean, I love the square there. I think it's such a beautiful space. It's just it's unreal.
So when I saw that video, I, of course, was doing it because I wanted to see what traditional yell was that occurs. And I believe, as Ruth mentioned, it was last night. It was the night before the yell, because then they went into the battle, and I believe they won the battle for the independence.
Right.
My first thinking is, maybe it's because of our climate, I thought, if I was a Trump fan, I would love this. Because that's how I want Trump to be, like a dictator, like someone who's over people, waving the flag, you know, Viva, make America great, Viva, this. So if you're a Trump fan, that pageantry and ceremony, I would think they would go, oh, that's cool. I don't know, did anybody else think that?
That never even came to mind, actually.
So you're telling me that Mexican president seems like a dictator?
No.
Well, if we're talking about AMLO, maybe.
No.
Well,
Sorry, maybe I'm just biased.
I was curious if anybody else thought that. I mean,
well, I think what you meant was that a lot of Trump fans would eat up the pomp and circumstance.
Yes.
I mean, that was very formal. It was very a lot of production values.
I
mean,
agree
you saw
on
the
that,
square
yeah.
lit up.
If they eat up with drinking or sniffing Clorox.
I will say this, that level of pageantry is very continental. It's very Spanish, it's very French, it's very, well, it used to be very German. It's something that the nation states on the continent of Europe do a lot. It's not really like a thing we do so much here in America. Like we don't really have military parades and things like that, unlike the French or the Italians or the, or any other nation state out there. So
now, you know that there's a couple of those parades or those events throughout the year in Mexico. That's one of them. But we've had in different states in Mexico, they do different gritos. And they celebrate different dates of victory against other countries.
Right.
So it's like a ritual.
Yeah. Well, I guess maybe that's what I meant. I just didn't word it properly. I would imagine that Trump would like something like that, like maybe the pageantry with the flag waving, people to kind of, because I think Trump.
No, I've never. Really, when you say Trump waving the flag, to be honest, in the past 4 years, I've never seen him hold the flag.
Oh, he hugs the flag almost every rally.
Yeah,
He just walks up and
I've never seen him.
Kind of cute.
He's held the Bible.
He's held the Bible,
the wrong
but
side
not the flag.
No, I'm talking about them waving his Trump flag, his own.
Oh,
yes, that's what I see.
Yeah,
I see them waving his Trump flags and so forth. Well, what I was going to say was, I really do think that Trump is just a reincarnation of the Argentinian first lady. What was her name? Madonna played her in a movie in the 90s.
Bonita Perón.
Yeah, there you go.
I think Trump is just he's just a draggy the Perón. He's like, thank you, America. That's really what Trump is. I think that's when he's at night, he sleeps dreaming to be her. So now let's get into the competition. This is the exciting part. This was the whole reason we are all here, is to practice our gritos. Who wants to go first? And anybody want to go first?
I'll go first. Why not?
All right.
There we go.
I mean, listen, I share a household with a beautiful Mexican from Durango, so I should be able to do a grito. I even have my little Mexican flag here, even though I'm not Mexican, but I can hold it this way. Or actually, if I hold it this way, it looks more like an Italian flag.
A little bit of both.
But I ain't gonna do that because that's not nice.
You just wanted to keep the same colors, right?
Pretty much. Hey, it's better than, an Irish flag just being a faded Italian flag.
So
sorry, Republic of Ireland.
That's actually funny. So I forgot what we're talking about. All right, so Steven, we're gonna put you on speaker view on the main screen.
All right.
And you
got to stand for the grito. So let me stand.
Yes, take your time, however you want to, and whenever you're ready.
All right. First thing, gringo grito. Yeehaw! All right. Now, I'm going to culturally appropriate a Mexican grito as best I can. That sounded more like a cuckoo. a cuckoo bird, but hey, whatever.
It was actually good.
He tried.
I-
If I had thought about it, I would have grabbed my trumpet and played a little mariachi, but whatever.
all right, who wants to go next? I can't follow him.
Okay,
All
I
right,
think I'll go next.
we'll put you on speaker view and then you go
Okay.
when you're ready.
But I have to play some music with it. Is that
Okay.
okay?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna do my volver. Here we go. Echate una, he said. Here I go. Viva Mexico!
Well, I think
The
you cut
music
out.
didn't let you hear us.
Yeah, you have to do with it. You
Without
have
the
to do
music?
Yeah, you just gotta scream because the music will not let us hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dang it. Okay, let me just put it on real low.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go. Okay. Ah! Viva Mexico!
Oh, that was good.
That was a good one.
good. Oh gosh.
First time ever, guys.
Who wants to go next?
Jenny, come on, Jenny.
Get
Oh,
it,
am I
Jenny.
next? All right.
Okay,
Well, I
Jenny,
got to.
hold on. Let me put you on speaker view so you're on the main screen, and then take your time and you're ready. Okay.
You got this, Jenny.
Am I on speaker view?
Yes.
Because nothing changed on my end. Oh, okay.
nothing
It
has
lit up
changed.
green. Oh, cool. Let's see. I've never done a Grito before, so this will be hilarious.
I neither.
I'm probably gonna butcher it too because I did not practice at all. I've got to admit that, but I'll do it anyway. Hi. That's about as good as I'm gonna get.
That's like a German Grito. It sounded good.
Well, actually, I am of German descent, so that's probably
That's how it
where I
sounded.
heard that from.
You did good.
Okay,
That
Mama
was
Ruth,
awesome.
Mama Ruth, are you going next? Or you going last?
You want me to go or you want to go?
I'll go next. I'm like Cyndi. I need a little bit of music just for encouragement. So
Oh,
let
Lord.
Alexa play mariachi music.
Woo! Look at you. Get it, Kristen. Get in the
I want
mood.
me able to hear you.
Here we go. Alexa, stop. Alexa, play mariachi radio.
Mariachi radio from Pandora.
Okay. How was that?
Yay!
Alexa, stop.
Good.
Very impressed.
I practiced that one, especially that little all
Why
right.
did you tell us to practice?
I told you last week to practice. Okay.
He did.
All right, Mama Ruth, you are next.
Oh, man. I'm over here so anxious recording all of y'all. Who's going to record me? No.
Jenny, why are you laughing, Jenny?
All right. We have to stand up, right?
Yeah, you can.
Let's see. Okay, here it goes.
That was great.
That was really good. All right, we got to vote on the winner.
I need a tequila.
Yes, yeah. We should have done some mimosas or something. This early in the morning. Before we did that. We'll go around and we'll. Who wants to start? I have to vote for Mama Ruth. That was. I think it's kind of really close between Mama Ruth and Cyndi. I just think it's incredible to see a Latina do the grito because that is just. It just sounds beautiful. It sounds like music. when a guy does it, nothing, no offense, Stephen.
Why don't you cut the video, like edit it, and then have the community vote who's the
That would
best?
be good. That would be
I mean, I'm going to vote for Mama Ruth myself because not only was her Grito on point, but she had the full ensemble, the entire
she did.
regalia. She went 100% to the max. She even had a ukulele. I mean,
You know
come
what,
on.
Stephen? And if you read my post, Mexican blood doesn't run in me,
Yeah,
but I have Mexico penetrated in my heart.
Oh,
Yep, because I'm not Mexican, but I love Mexico.
I love that.
As you can tell with her attire, she was part of. Weren't you part of a group that?
I actually formed a group of older women so they wouldn't be depressed. It used to call, now it's still called Making a Change. And we would do performance. We actually did a performance for the mayor at that time, Miss Jennifer Roberts, for the International Cap. So yeah.
Yeah, you know, that would really be nice to see here in Charlotte, some ballet folkloricals, some, you know, my nieces, when they were growing up, they were a part of a dance group that did traditional dance.
The folklorio.
I've done it since I was 9 years old. I used to travel to Mexico, the city, Mexico and stuff. So I have all my attire. I still do performance in school with my son, and I still gather women, whoever wants to participate, and we've done other things. So yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
I actually think through the International House, they still do a lot of that because on International Women's Day, they have a lot of those performers do different things from their culture. And they've had different groups here in Charlotte that perform different types of dances and that sort of thing, including the folklore.
Yeah, I haven't seen the ballet folklorical type of stuff, but I've seen the other ones you're talking about. Because it would be really good to teach our younger kids in CMS. First of all, give them something to do. And we all know that we don't have.
You came in 2017. You came to my woman on March, and it was a representation of all multicultural women with different countries and their attire. So yeah.
And maybe we could reach out to the Arts and Science Council here in Charlotte and see if they can partner with, you know, groups to do something like that, huh?
That would be a great idea. I love doing all that.
Yeah, the ASC is pretty cool. They do a lot of neat things in the Charlotte area. I'm a big fan.
That's awesome.
There's a group here in Monroe, and actually they're a friend of mine, and they do great performance, but they only go to like Spanish radio stations and stuff like that. But I mean, I would love to expand it more into our American culture too, so they can kind of learn more about our richness, how we are enriched, because they could also participate with their own attire, with their own, you know, Irish, German, you know, Asians and all that.
Yeah, you know, we talk about this all the time on this show about trying to think outside Charlotte, the box, on creative ways to get our kids and our youth more involved in activities to keep them off the street, keep them out of trouble and so forth. And I just think it's incredible that we have so many different cultures and ethnicities and races here in Charlotte, and we don't take advantage of all of these things. And we should be spending our money on encouraging these type of organizations and events.
Just imagine yourself, Cano, when you were younger, you were kind of embarrassed at the Grito back in the days. Imagine now how our culture and our kids have changed their mentality and stuff, and their parents here at home, sometimes they might feel embarrassed of who they are, their heritage and stuff. And if we keep on lighting that up and bringing them into awareness of who you are, what you come from, where's your background, what's your culture. I know there was a group that had started, I'm not sure if she's still continuing. She was doing Soy Latino Como Tú with Lenny Lee's. She's a Dominican lady, and she had a small group because my sons participated in their Spanish class and stuff, and they were teaching them the culture of different countries. I don't know if that stopped or not, but I mean, that would be something, like you said, money spending into our youth, our future. Because if they feel embarrassed who they are, they're not going to fit anywhere. They're gonna try to fit in the wrong places, and we need to stop that.
And I think when you see the performance arts from the different cultures in full bloom, like you do, like I grew up with Fiesta, and you saw the beauty of the intersectionality and of people performing on the same stage of different cultures, you realize that everybody came from somewhere, and you start to appreciate the diversity, but also the similarities too, in the people of Mexican descent or Latinx descent are real humans. They have real smiles, and they're not caricatures or
Very
or
sensitive.
yeah, you see the human side of them, and you see them laughing and entertaining, and so you never see those barriers. I was blessed with the fact that I got to grow up with a lack of barriers, because I was immersed in a culture that was not white or Anglo-centric, so it was kind of cool. I wish everybody would have had my childhood.
Yeah. Well,
Not
listen,
to be biased or anything, but I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but not to be biased, but I just feel like the Hispanic culture, the Latin culture, and the African American culture, we have the most beautiful, colorful culture. I mean, it's just so vibrant, and just look at him, look at him. And I'm just so proud, when I see those, and I see the dresses and the attire and the colors that just are so bold and beautiful, it just makes me feel so proud. And of course, the people are beautiful.
But what you're saying, Cyndi, because we almost gonna run out of time here, is what you're saying is so true, and it's this Italians, when they brought their culture here, Irish, Scott-Irish, Scott-Americans, all English, they all brought their cultures here. And there was a lot of pushback when they first came here from people who had been here before. So it's not common for us to get pushback. I think the difference is, it just, I don't know, but and it has made America better and greater. And so it doesn't mean just because I say we're celebrating Grito or Happy Cinco de Mayo or Happy Taco Tuesday, whatever, funny term you want to use, doesn't mean that we're not proud to be American.
Right, absolutely, right.
You know what's the funny part of it is that all Mexican restaurants today will be full, like literally full, with customers that are not Mexicans, but are screaming.
Wait, by Trump supporters? Okay, sorry, had to say it.
Yes, had to say it, yes.
They will, but bless their heart. So we are going to end the show, but before we end the show, there was a report that came out that we definitely will be following and talking a lot about. I think it was 2 days ago, about some hysterectomies that were performed in ICE centers, specifically the one in Georgia. And NPR did a story on it early this morning, and I believe Congress is going to start an investigation into find out what's occurring there. It was very bothersome reading that. I know Stephen kind of educated us a little bit more on the actual whistleblowing complaint, which if that is following what the complaint is, should trouble all of us. So we will be following that. I hope that people over the next couple of days look into that situation, because that is, wow. I mean, if that's, under the Trump administration, your first instinct is to say that couldn't happen. But we know with this, anything is possible. And Jenny and I were talking about this right before the show. When ICE says, don't believe it's fake news, this, the first thing you have to do is believe it. And because
the Trump, especially with the Trump fans and the Trump administration, is that they always deny, and it's fake news, and it's fake science, and it's fake this, and it's fake that. That's their automatic response. And of course, if something that embarrassing went on in my administration, I'd probably say the same thing. But it's American government has had a history of, they did radiation experiments on American soldiers during World War II. We've had a history of conversion camps in this country, including today. There's been, the British government and the American government sterilized gay men. There's been numerous eugenic things. There's, the state of Georgia's had a really bad history with the African American community. I mean, so this is nothing new. If it comes out to be true and everything gets documented and all that, it would be just another horrific, mark against, and the American government. And maybe it's time to start really analyzing how much power we hand over to the American government and how much we hand over to the military, this huge military apparatus that we have that could easily at any one time be turned against us. I mean, when you're spending a trillion a year,
it's happening. Already happening.
I mean, you just gave the perfect Second Amendment argument. But something to say about ICE, though. So one thing that I've noticed that a lot of people talk about in this space, they talk about systemic problems in our society, systemic issues in our government. And ICE has had a track record of human rights abuses since its inception, right? And ICE wasn't conceived by President Trump. And those problems were still there when it was oversaw by President Obama. And it was there at the very beginning when it was formed under President Bush. So these are things that have been there from the beginning, and they have not gone away. It's a systemic issue with this system. And it's because of the banal evil that comes with large bureaucracies. Because here's the thing. What is a government bureaucracy? It's an organization made up of people who just want to get there and do a job. And you can pass off more responsibility for evil actions because, well, it's not me, it's the government. It's not me, it's the bureaucracy. And you can go home, collect your paycheck and go home to your family every night, and you feel somewhat absolved of the evil that you are complicit in. And this is a good argument, in my opinion, against having these bureaucracies to begin with, because that happens every single time with every huge bureaucracy. It dehumanizes people and it takes away the individual agency of both the people subject to those bureaucracies and the people that are employed within them. And this is an example of something bad happening. And not for nothing, but this country, it's certainly under Obama too, and it has continued since then, has been horrible to whistleblowers. And so this woman who came out and whistleblown, she took a real brave action. And if it is proven that these things actually happened, right, to the degree that it seems like it may have been, this is some really evil stuff that this government is doing to people, and it needs to stop.
And,
I don't know if y'all watched Immigration Nation, the documentary that's on Netflix, but I only watched a couple of episodes because it really pissed me off. But if y'all get a chance to read it, because most of them are, I'm just doing my job. Just like you said, you pass it on to the next person. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. This is just my job. So
doing your job, it also reveals who you really are. Because if you have passion for what you do, you're gonna do the right thing, and that's not part of their job.
Absolutely.
Now, who do we know who's gonna be doing the investigation? How are we gonna make our voices heard to get everything revealed of what's going on down there? Not only in Texas, not only in Georgia, but I mean, we have other detention centers around Virginia, Alabama, Tennessee. Who's gonna be how are we gonna be getting in touch with those victims and make them talk, make them say the things that they went through?
Well, I exactly kind of what you said, Mama Ruth. I think this is like the first whistleblower, and I think we're going to see the floodgates open about maybe other issues. And I know Congress, one of the committees has decided to investigate it. They have joined forces with the Hispanic caucus and the Black caucus have merged because they both are outraged. Of course, everyone's outraged if this is true. They're going to investigate it. So we will find out. And these facilities are privately run prisons, which many of us have been against for a long time anyway. But I think you're going to add that aspect to it. So we'll be finding out. I just wanted to briefly touch about it because we've all heard about it.
Now, y'all keep in touch. That's at a federal level. That's at a national standpoint. We are going through almost the same thing here with the COVID test results here in Mecklenburg County. I read report yesterday from the news, Charlotte story says that Mecklenburg County admits to mistakenly telling thousands of residents they have COVID-19.
Yeah.
I myself received a text Friday at 9:53 telling me that I was tested positive, where I have not gone since back in May.
Yeah. Huh.
So, you know,
Yeah,
we gotta kind of make sure what's going on while they're doing this.
Yeah, well, I'm just sad that they're texting you the results. They should be calling you on the results, because finding out the results via text is like, I
That's
don't
like
know.
being broken up with over the phone, over text message.
Exactly, that's like being text. So listen, we're out of time, but right before we leave, I do want to say, and don't forget, please join us at 11:30, maybe a little bit, 15, 20 minutes, Two Queers in a Truck. We will have a special guest. Jenny, who's going to be our guest on the show?
Gary Johns, with the Queer Society Charlotte. They do a lot of great things. He's going to come on about noon, so we're going to start Two Queers probably at about 11:45. Do a little bit of a warm up, kind of wrap up from this show as well, and talk
Are
about some
y'all
interesting
traveling in
stuff.
today?
What? No, we're going to do it remotely.
We've been doing the Two Queers show in the truck virtually, remotely. So you're going to watch. It's going to be really kind of funny. And then next week, we'll have Cal Kirby, who's a Republican running for the state house. He will be on. And when I told him that we had gone remotely, I said, you are booked for the 23rd. Just want to let you know. He said, darn, I wanted to be picked up and rode in the car with y'all. I think he wanted the fries. So
And green tea.
yeah, because we always stop at Mickey D's and then we get fries in our tradition. So before we go, we do want to wish one of our wonderful additions to our show, who has added so much wonderful brightness to our lives. Tomorrow is her anniversary of her 21st birthday. And Jenny-Jaymes Gunn, his birthday is tomorrow. So So we're gonna sing happy birthday to her, but while we do that, I want to hand her this. So Jenny, I'm gonna hand you this so you can blow this out.
Look.
Go.
Ooh, magic! It turned into a
wow.
cupcake.
Look at that.
How did you do that?
Cupcake.
That's
So,
unicorn magic.
Yeah, it is. So let's go and sing happy birthday to Jenny for tomorrow. Ready? Happy
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jenny. Happy birthday to you.
All right, Jenny, blow it out.
And many more.
Good job. Wonderful.
Happy birthday, Jenny.
Thank you.
We love you.
And because of the day it is today, I'll say Feliz Cumpleaños. I think I said that right.
Feliz cumpleaños. That's right.
My name is Jenny too.
Hey, Jenny.
Jennie.
Her name's Jenny too. She just spelled it different.
Oh, that's okay.
My mommy
Spelled
spelled
different.
it.
Okay, there you go. Thank you.
All right. So listen, we're going to go around the Brady Bunch screen. Tell us where you're going to be this weekend. And we want to thank you for enjoying our 100th show. Hopefully we'll have 100 more. It's been wonderful. We do miss you, Jeff Scott. We miss you, Barbara. We miss you, Tara. We've got so many wonderful. We have presidential candidate on the show. We'll have Matt Ridenhour, who's going to be on the show again in a couple of weeks. We're trying to get Brandon Lofton on our show, who's my state representative. We are hoping to get the Latino for Biden people on to explain what's going on with that organization as well. So we've got a couple of really guys. We just have to survive the next 7 weeks. How many weeks we got left until?
Oh, about 50 days.
About 50 days. That's right. We just have to survive that, and of course there'll be something more that's dramatic. So let's go around the screen. We have Jenny, Stephen, Mama Ruth, and then Cyndi. And so tell us where you're going to be.
Well, I'll be at Two Queers in the Truck coming up in about 20-30 minutes. And I'm also going for a hike on Sunday with some friends in this LGBT hiking club. So I'm excited about that. And other than that, I'll be doing my social distancing and just chilling out for my birthday tomorrow.
I'll be in Raleigh on a campaign event, hoping to support our senatorial candidate, Shannon Bray. So if you're interested in that, check him out. And then if you're interested in my campaign, it's StephenForNorthCarolina.com. That's Stephen with a V for NorthCarolina.com.
I will be here at my house, mi casa, su casa, getting ready because next Sunday it's my granddaughter's first birthday. So we are preparing all the stuff to make them her little first birthday celebration. And that's about it. Just be here at home. Tomorrow night, the Latin American Coalition will have a forum about a doctor. That's my mama's doctor. Dr. De Peña will be speaking to our community about how to protect themselves, how to take care of themselves and all that, answering questions at 6 p.m. So if you need to join, please click on my events. I have it. I have shared it. And you have to be registered to attend that online. So it's really good.
Okay, so I'll be chilling at home this weekend. I had a medical procedure done, so I can't really do a whole lot. But I am planning on getting out this weekend and pressing some voter registration cards. I'm going to go around and try to find out who needs to vote to register. We need them done really soon. I think the last day to turn them in is coming up really, really close. So got to work on that.
Talking about voters registration, Cano, you might want to get in touch with Hector Vaca. I've read one of his posts yesterday. Some places that are not allowing us to be outside in the parking lot to register voters.
Yeah, you have to ask. You have to be real careful with that. Mm-hmm.
Here in North Carolina, many of us have been sent our absentee ballots, which we received ours yesterday. I am voting absentee. You can either mail it back in to the Board of Elections, or you can personally hand it to someone during early voting, or even on election day, you can surrender the ballot. We're just going to go to early voting, and instead of actually doing that, just hand them the ballot, and it's all done here. The great thing in North Carolina is if you're not registered to vote, you can still register during early voting just by arriving in early voting. Absentee ballots are required absentee ballots. But I do want to say just a couple things real quickly. We didn't get into this, and maybe we'll talk about it on the other show. To show how humanitarian Jenny-Jaymes Gunn is, we were going to sacrifice baby Trump Pinata's cousin, baby Trump Q. We were going to actually bust the Pinata today in celebration of Cinco de Mayo, our 100th show, and Grito with filled of candy. And when I told her this idea, Jenny started this hashtag Save Baby Trump Pinata. And so, Jenny, tell us real briefly why you didn't want us to break the baby Trump Pinata.
Well, for one, it does represent an actual human being, and no matter how I feel about that human being, it's almost an optic of promoting violence. And
you are too kind.
And again, I have no love for that person, but at the same time, it doesn't make it right to strike a human being. And I do have a problem with violence. I have a problem with violent language. I have a problem with war. I have a problem with promoting violence in any case. I don't think, no matter what, no matter whether they're an anti-fascist or they're pro-fascist or whatever, I don't want to see anybody hurt. I don't want to see anybody shot. I don't want to see a Trump supporter shot. I don't want to. That doesn't fill my heart with joy. I think there's too high of a level of violence in this country. I think it needs to stop.
Well, and so
I appreciate you for that.
No, I did want to commend her, but as Cindy said, I would have broke that in a second. But luckily, we do have Jenny. So I got her another one. This is the replacement that we're going to fill with candy.
Cool.
Have the opportunity. We are going to. I was trying to look for a princess, but there's There's only a limited amount of pinatas you can buy here in North Carolina unless you order it in advance. Also, for those who remember our chancla show 2 weeks ago, I didn't show off my brand new chanclas that came in the mail on Monday morning. I have finally gotten
Mine are bigger. My yellow ones are monster trucks.
I don't know how many people have commented on that, but I also forgot. Yeah,
Jenny just said more violence. We can't be showing our chanclas. That's what we used to do.
No, Cyndi, our chanclas are the best education that we can do to our kids.
You're right, but Jenny doesn't like that.
No violence.
Okay, we'll be using the wooden spoon like Steven.
Oh, that's funny you say that.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so, but I wanted to tell you how serious we are about chanclas. By the door in the back door, and Jenny has seen this, we actually have a metal chancla box that the chanclas go into that protects the chanclas from dogs chewing them. And so that's how serious we take chanclas. For anyone who is confused about early voting, absentee ballots, there's a lot of confusion here in North Carolina because President Trump ignorantly keeps telling people to vote twice. Do it, it's a felony, you know, if you're dumb enough to do it, but don't vote twice, it'll be a felony. Brandon Lofton, who is my state representative, is having a Zoom call with the Board of Elections person. He's going to explain how it works. So if you're still confused, can I order the absentee ballot and still vote? Do I have to turn the absentee ballot in? All that wonderful stuff. Go to his Facebook page or website and sign up for their Zoom webinar, I believe, education webinar. It's very informative because even I was confused. I thought I could just order the absentee ballot, get it, and then just go vote on election day like I normally do. You can't. You have to turn this in. There's a lot of things you have to remember to do, but you can't vote twice. So regardless of what President Trump says, if you're a Trump supporter, go ahead and vote twice. I'd like to be on your jury so we can, you know, whatever that happens.
No.
So yes,
Don't vote twice.
Yeah, don't vote twice. Don't vote twice. Right. Don't. So with that said, we're ending our 100th show. Join us just maybe less than 15, 20 minutes for a second show. If you're on Zoom, stay on because we have to do the promotion for the show. So we will wave as we disconnect from Facebook Live. Everyone, goodbye.
Bye.
Adios.
Happy Dulce